So we're here. It's week 10. It's our 9th group meeting.
That's crazy.
Can you feel the end coming?
Yeah, it's starting to kick in. I get lazy.
Oh, I wish that was my problem. Work just kicked up. I had to do an analysis today at all our at-risk revenue, and I had to combine all this data, and my brain hurts today.
Oh, wow.
Because I had to write all these Excel equations, embedded in Excel equations to find all of it. It was, my brain is fried. And it's already 90 degrees in Arizona, so
yeah, it's warming up here a little bit, but not that much.
That's because you're not as lucky as I am. You want to say the prayer?
Yeah, I can say the prayer.
Okay.
Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for this day that we can meet together as a group. Please bless us that we can have a good analysis of the case and that we can learn and apply the things that we learn into our lives and also with our education and work lives as well. And these things we pray for in the name of the Son, Jesus Christ.
Amen. So, question: do you work full time or is it part time while you're going to school?
Kind of part time. I kind of choose. I kind of do what I want though. Like, I don't really have to work. It's all like commission stuff. So.
Oh, okay. I would want to work if I could get commission on things.
Yeah, so that's why I work harder.
So in honor of our case study this week, I went to Noodles and Company today.
Oh, you did?
Uh-huh. I had some udon noodles with some Parmesan crusted chicken. Pretty good. Good? Yeah, it was. It was really good. I want to try their spicy and sweet soy sauce the next time on it though, because I like spicy food.
Yeah, I like Noodles and Company.
I like the price.
Yeah, it's pretty good price, I think.
All right, so synopsis of the case. The case describes the dilemma of founder and CEO Aaron Kennedy as he seeks to grow the company from within while balancing the pressures of other competitors trying to push their way into the fast casual foods category. As they grow, they face the difficult decisions on how to meet the pace of the budding company while maintaining their culture. So, did you know the term fast casual before you read this case study?
So, I very briefly, when I read it, I kind of remembered that I had heard that, but it wasn't like a phrase that I've used a lot, but it makes sense.
Yeah. So I can tell you from having a degree in that hospitality field that the fast casual market has been exponentially skyrocketing in the last 10 years.
Uh-huh.
I keep up on it even if I'm not working in the industry because it fascinates me. And one of the most common fast casual is the I guess it would be the equivalent of a Cafe Zupas up there.
Yeah, they have Cafe Zupas.
So it's the Panera Bread, Paradise.
Yeah, or Chipotle.
Mm-hmm. Those are the most common because they offer healthy foods at lower prices.
Yeah.
So, what is the challenge facing Noodles and Company within this segment? So, I like the hint, and I'm just going to read the hint. The overcrowding and rapidly increasing population interest. The fast casual industry is actually very quick to set up, and so it's very enticing to, like the Payways, like the PF Chang's organization, to go into a fast casual to double their income. So it says that 8.3% per year in the past at annual sales of around $350 billion, with a projected growth of 15 to 20% in the future and an increase of $5 billion per year. That's ridiculous amounts of money. A
lot.
The hospitality industry, both hotel and food, has always fascinated me, but I think the thing that fascinates me the most is the fact that you will always need it. People will always eat and people will always want to go places. So if you can find your niche, wow, told you my brain's not working. If you can find your leg up in that industry, you're good. And I think Noodles and Company started out really well as it. So under the analysis, the first question is working full-time as an employee while developing a new business a good idea or a bad idea?
I would say probably more bad than good, because you need to have your time to, like, obviously you want quality time to develop the business itself instead of just working.
Well, especially if you already have a business plan, the execution often happens quickly and is very intensive. So if you're working part-time, you might be able to pull it off, but I wouldn't recommend it if you know you have a slam dunk. Like, go on Shark Tank and you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Can Noodles and Company maintain their corporate culture through aggressive growth? Why or why not?
So I think that, like, obviously they can, but that was like one of the major dilemmas. It's difficult, but I think that they should strive for that, obviously. But I think one of the things I talked about in my case is that obviously one of their main points is to make money. So I feel like they're going to have some type of compromise.
Exactly. So if you look at some of the bigger corporations, I'll use Disney World. I got my new hat for my trip, so now my noggin won't get sunburned. It has the same corporate culture that it had years ago before their immense growth. They put in the time. So one of the things is I wasn't impressed with how they started the first restaurant. I felt like they started it very quickly without a lot of planning and organization. Especially since they didn't know that their financials were tanking, that they were tanking for the first couple months. Now, there should have been an idea of if that worked. So I feel like in an aggressive growth, if they plan it right, they can keep it, like you said. It'll just be difficult. Okay, so do you think that they should maintain a first to market strategy or a best to market strategy?
So that was one thing that they were stressed out about, and I think that it is important to be first to market because you can capture that market share first. But in the end, with an industry like this, like the quality and like the taste and just the food in general, that speaks louder than who was there first. So I think that it will always be the deciding factor in who is more successful. So I think quality.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. We all have been to bad restaurants, I'm sure.
Yeah, and then you don't go again.
And wish we hadn't been there. Exactly. I found it interesting that they had no organizational structure. Have you noticed maybe in your professional personal life, when you see entrepreneurship, new ventures start, they just start running a sprint instead of taking their time to plan everything. And it's easy to do. You get so excited. I have my own business.
Yeah,
let's not
I've seen
plan
that
it.
for sure.
And that hit them. They had no team. They had no organization. They didn't know what to do because they didn't even identify their weaknesses till way down after their second restaurant opened.
Yeah.
So I think their mantra of Evie, I don't know if you've read the agenda, but it missed a couple letters again.
Yeah.
So every guest, every bowl, every time. How do you think that drives the company profits and structure, including, in my opinion, down to the employees' expectations? Do you think it affects that?
I think it does. It basically creates a standard for them, so they can remain consistent in their quality, and then that if also like the employees would Yeah, this is also like more important too for like these larger franchises, because you should be able to have the same experience no matter which one you go
Mhm.
to.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure you've seen it's not always like that.
No.
So I think that's important for them, and it kind of sets a standard for the customer, and then also
Mhm.
within customer knows what they're getting, whether it's. I mean, the food's good. Obviously, there's better food out there, but for the price, they're getting what they pay for, and I feel like most people are happy with that.
Mhm.
So that's what they
Correct.
have to find, is that price point that delivers quality, but they get what they want.
And I think it actually benefits Noodles and Company not to come from a bigger sit-down full-service restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
because I know when I go to Payway, I expect the same quality as the sit-down restaurant of PF Chang's, and you don't get that.
No.
And that's okay, because it's an entirely different concept, but because it's linked to a full-service restaurant that many people have tried,
Uh-huh.
they expect the same thing when they go.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's okay. Now, I think one of the challenges they face is wanting to expand by the quantity they set goals for themselves.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that was said in the study was it would be a good idea if you cut that in half. Well, in my analysis, I'm like, I think they need to put more towards marketing.
Yeah.
The case study never said anything about their marketing strategies, but if they want to expand that much, they need to get some marketing out to get people's excitement up.
Yeah.
So I feel like the best part about this company is their willingness and their desire to have their employees offer suggestions, their willingness to pay down to the cashier bonuses if your store meets their revenue goals.
Uh-huh.
That kind of team building. They even go out and play together. Like, I thought that was really fascinating in the case study. They're spread out, but they encourage each unit to have outings.
Yeah, so that was just their culture in general, so that helped them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I feel like that was like one of the things that helped them in the end.
Yeah, I think that adds to their corporate culture, because if you can lower the turnaround,
Uh-huh.
the employee turnaround, people will want to work there.
Yeah.
Because they'll be like, oh, how long have you worked there? 10 years. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
So I feel like, and this is partially because my brain is shut off, but one of the things I wrote up in my analysis was that some of the things I think that could help them is to start a value program. Now, see, since today was one of the first times I had been there, I didn't know they had it, and they have it. So that's wonderful because people want to go somewhere, and if they go somewhere a lot, they want to get free food.
Yeah.
Free food is awesome. So it's important. So, and I think that's interesting, because I even said that, loyalty programs end up paying for themselves, because if Noodles and Company, they didn't get into this, but if Noodles and Company has variable food cost percentages,
Mm-hmm.
meaning that they have different levels of food cost percentage per item. So your soda, you'd have a 60%.
Margin.
Yeah, the margin. Because think about it, the McDonald's large sodas, they charge $1, they still make about 65 cents on every single cup, or more,
Yeah. And
depending on
then they started selling drinks for the same price, like all drinks are $1. So that's like, I'll go to McDonald's just because I get a large drink for $1, and they don't really care.
Nope. Because they break even, because others will not think about that and get a small or get a medium. And it's some people don't think, it just fascinates me. I think as a company, they the quintessential new venture. They started out sprinting when they should have been planning for a marathon. Pardon the reference. And then they struggled, and I think the turning point for them was when they sat down and identified their weaknesses and identified the 6 areas that they needed improvement on, and they assigned those tasks to people.
Yeah.
So, do you see any connections between the gospel and this situation?
I feel like it's having a game plan, I guess, and just working on it from there, having goals and actually like trying to make progress. So yeah, I mean, in that sense, for sure.
So the only comparison that really came to my mind was the comparison of how they took a step back, reevaluated, and committed themselves. So, you know, when we struggle, when we make decisions that are less than stellar decisions, we need to work on that. And so you almost have to take stock of your own life and identify your weaknesses and the areas you need to work on. And we didn't hit every bullet point, but we never do.
No.
Well, what did you?
A lot of it's repeating, so.
Yeah, I think we found that out
Well, yeah, we did all but one by one.
The outside one, the sports store.
Yep.
Any final thoughts on this case study?
No, I mean, I actually enjoyed this one because it was more applicable, because like we've all eaten at these types of restaurants, and it was more, I mean, especially for you because you kind of work in that industry a little bit. But I liked this case, and it wasn't as it didn't. I feel like it didn't go into like personal lives of people more. It was more like a general business strategy, and I like that better than worrying about like social dynamics within a company, which is also important. But I liked that it was more general.
It was more focused on the corporation than on the people in the corporation.
Yeah, I liked that.
The last couple of weeks have really bothered me because I don't feel like I needed to know all their personal business.
No.
I just needed to know what the issue was.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, well. My friend says that we're too lazy to get involved in other people's lives, and that's sort of how I feel right now. I don't have time.
True.
But anyway, thanks for your time and participation.
Yeah.
And we don't have one next week, it looks like, according to
I think it was like, there might be an activity, because do you remember the one where we had to choose what items we would bring?
Yes.
So it might follow like a similar type of thing as that, but I'm not sure.
The Patagonia project.
Which was better, because I didn't like, these write-ups are kind of get annoying, but I liked the activity more.
So it looked like in the overview, we won't be having a group meeting next week. So would it be you next week? I mean, on week 12, or would it be Lucy?
I think her, but I could do it if you guys want. I don't really care.
Okay, so I'll send an email reminding everybody no group next week. The time change only affects me. So do me a favor and text me if one day I'm not on at 5, because I might forget.
Okay, so I'll let you know.
Okay, have a wonderful week.
Cool, you too, and I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Okay, bye.
Bye.